What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Mindset Mutiny. And if you don't know me already, I'm Mike Ivanov, your host, if you haven't figured that out yet. So today, I want to start a little bit differently. We'll start with a couple quotes that were shared with me from somebody special in my life. This is somebody that I looked up to for many, many years, still do. And they're a great business leader and a very vibrant person. They've always guided me in the right way, always encouraged me to be who I am, which is hard to find nowadays. A lot of people want to get you to conform and get you to be somebody different, but this person always encouraged me to be me and loved my intensity and taught me a lot of great things. And it's kind of a cool story. A while back, I sat down with them when they were transitioning out of their role in the company that I was working for, and they had climbed to the top of the mountain, right? So with any mountain climber, right, if any of you climb mountains, you know that when you're walking up a mountain, you always talk to the people that are coming back down from the summit. You know, and there's a reason for that, right? You need to know what it looks like ahead, how far, what the terrain is, the weather. Is there anything I need to look out for? Sometimes trails aren't really greatly marked when you get towards the summit. So you can always get value when you talk to people coming back down from the summit. So the way I looked at it was this individual has accomplished great things in business, and he's coming back from the summit of the mountain that I'm climbing as well, right? So I sat down with him and I said, hey, I need some advice. I'm climbing the same mountain as you. You're coming back from the summit. What can you share with me about the journey ahead? And he looks at me super calm and just gives me a few short words. And he says, Mike, you need to continue to build your brand, your personal brand. And I thought about it for a little while. And it's some of the best advice a person could ever give somebody. And it really resonated with me, and I share it with you because we all need to build our personal brand. We need to figure out what we stand for and continue to pursue that. It's actually really special because we all get caught up in trying to be somebody else, especially with social media and everything out there. And this person just said, Mike, build your brand. Be you, you're special. Share that with the world. So that's what I'm doing. And he gave me these quotes, and he'd use them from time to time. And I really think they're extremely important for you to hear as well. So I'm going to go through them slowly. But the first one I want to share is, if the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside, then the end is near. That can apply to anything. It can apply personally. It can apply to business. If the rate of change on the outside exceeds the rate of change on the inside, then the end is near. I look at that especially for personal growth and development. If you're not growing and everything around you is changing, you're in trouble. So if the rate of change on the outside outpaces the change happening inside of you, you're already losing. The game is continuing to evolve, and you're still playing with last season's strategy. And the world really, to be truthful, doesn't care about your potential. Nobody cares about your potential. And I've shared this before. Your potential, well, let's back up. Someone very close to me always says, Mike, the potential you see in others isn't real. It's what you would do in their situation. The potential you see in others is not real. It's what you would do in their situation. That's a fact. And that's why the world doesn't care about your potential, because it's undeveloped. Some people never, ever even think about trying to develop it. What the world cares about is if you're keeping up. And if you're not, if you're still clinging to those old habits, telling yourself those old stories, living out those old identities, then the end isn't coming. It's already here. You need to understand that. If you keep telling yourself old stories about who you are, or what happened to you, or what's holding you back, or why you're in this situation, everything else around you is changing. The rate of change around you is going up every single day. And you're still telling those old stories, which means the end is near. No, it's here. The end is here. The old story, the old identity, the old habits. You need to bump up that rate of change. So change is a race. And you're in that race whether you like it or not. You can't say you're not participating. Okay? That race is happening. You're in it. You have two choices. Crush it or be crushed, in my mind, right? That's how I look at it. If you're not participating, you're going to get wiped out. The outside world is absolutely full of chaos. It's fast, it's ruthless, it's unforgiving. If your mindset and your systems and that identity that you have isn't evolving faster than the pressure that's coming at you, you're going to crack. The businesses that fail, the people that break, it's never about the economy or luck. It's because the change happening to them was greater than the change happening in them. It's a beautiful quote. You can like it or not. The reason I like it is because it's true. You could model your whole life and your entire business around that. Another great one that was shared with me from the same individual is historical adoration does not guarantee future relevance. I like that one a lot. Historical adoration doesn't mean shit today. The world does not care who you used to be. It only cares who you are. It only cares if you're still dangerous, still relevant. And if you're not dangerous and you're not fighting to be relevant, you're just another washed up has-been. Jerking off to old memories. Yeah. Let that fucking settle in. I know it's a bit harsh and a bit brutal, but it's a fact, man. We all know those people. I touched on it briefly in our last episode. It's a fact. You think your past wins make you untouchable? Nah, man, they make you soft. Comfort kills and nostalgia, right? Thinking about all those old memories. That's the rope you hang yourself with. So wake up. The crowd, they moved on. You didn't. You're still living in the past. No one cares about the highlight reel if you're fucking soft. The world respects one thing: relevance. And relevance doesn't live in the past. It lives in the grind, in the pain, in the blood you're spilling right now. You were a beast. You were the king. That was yesterday. And yesterday is dead weight. It's a fucking anchor you're dragging around. If you're not evolving, I need you to understand you're eroding. The throne you sit on turns to dust the moment you stop earning it. Applause fades. Statues crumble. And nobody gives a damn about your legacy if you're still weak. If you're still fucking weak, nobody cares about what you built if you went soft. Stop polishing trophies and start building scars. I promise you. Ask anyone that will tell you the truth. Nobody gives a fuck about your past. Those accomplishments don't matter. Not the world, not your competitors, not life. And if I'm being honest with you, neither should you. We all know those people. It blows my mind sometimes when I'm talking to people and like people are telling me shit they did like 5-6 years ago. And they're still like riding on that. I'm like, man, like that's kind of sad. I mean, I know why. It's because they haven't accomplished anything, after that that's worth talking about. But I don't really want to talk to somebody about what they did 5 years ago. It's not relevant to me. I want to know what you're doing now. That's what matters. What I did 5 years ago doesn't fucking matter. What I did 2 years ago doesn't matter. What I did last month doesn't matter. That speech I did in front of 6,000 people, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, we're past that, dude. Time to find some fucking new shit. Right? That's what's important. I could sit there and be like, for the next 3 years, talk about it. Like, oh, I did this and it, blah, blah, blah. No one fucking cares. Nobody cared the minute I was done. Right? You got to be fucking relevant. So you got to continue to find those things. What you used to do doesn't protect you from weakness now. That's what's so terrifying. Past strength, it doesn't stop present decay, right? You were strong then. Doesn't mean you're strong now. You could have been strong yesterday and you wake up today a little bitch. I mean, that's a fact. And that old glory that you keep fucking waving around, that's a story. You're clinging to it because you're too afraid to ask the hard question. Am I still that guy? Every single day I wake up and prove to myself that I'm still that fucking guy. It's hard as fuck, man. Like every day you have to wake up, put on your fucking shoes, and go prove yourself. Every single day. That's what it's all about. You can't walk around with this like paper of accomplishments and be a fucking bitch. Hey, look what I did. But today, I'm being weak. I'm making bad choices. But look what I did before. That means I'm still great, right? No, it doesn't. That chapter of like those past things, that shit's ended. And the problem is people are too scared to write the next chapter. And the reason they can't write the next chapter is because they're walking around carrying bags full of doubt. And no trophy, no memory, no highlight reel is enough to silence that. Not anymore. That voice in your head, it knows when you're lying. It knows when you're coasting. It knows when you said you'd wake up at 5 a.m. and you hit the snooze button 3 fucking times. It knows when you're scrolling instead of fucking doing things that matter. When you're pretending to rest, but deep down, you just quit for the day. It knows when your diet is slipping. It knows when your discipline is soft. When you said just this once and now it's the 3rd time this week. It knows when your effort is fake. When your conversations are surface level. When you avoid the truth and you dress it up as balance. That voice in your head, it keeps the score, whether you like it or not. Not the one you show the world, the real one. The real score. The one you try to avoid when you look in the mirror. And no matter how loud you cheer for yourself on the outside, the voice only believes the evidence. I love that because there's a lot of pretenders out there, and it's okay. It's okay because I understand why they're pretending. And this shit's not for everybody, right? I have a small group of followers, but they're dedicated motherfuckers, for sure. And it's because they know that the real score is logged right up here. And you can't hide from your mind. You could sit there and convince it, oh yeah, it's okay. We did pretty good. Or somebody's like goes out for like a 3-mile run or 5-mile run or 15-mile run and they fucking turn around halfway and they go and tell everybody they still ran the miles. I know that happens to people. I know it. And they go and tell a different story. Oh yeah, I did this and that. No, you didn't. You can tell everybody you did, but your mind knows. And when your mind knows, no matter what you tell everybody else, it weakens you. When you tell yourself you're supposed to wake up at 5 a.m. and you don't, it weakens you. It weakens your mental strength every single time. And here's the truth most people choke on. You can't lie to that voice. You can't finesse it. You can't charm it. You can't outtalk it. You can only outwork it. You want to kill the doubt? You want to shut those whispers down? The ones that tell you you're done, you're falling off, you're not good enough anymore? Then you have to show that voice the proof every fucking day. Proof through pain, proof through discipline, proof through choosing the hard path over the easy out. Every time you do what you say you're going to do, that builds trust. And that voice gets quieter. Every time you execute when no one's watching, that voice starts to believe in you again. Every time you say fuck comfort and choose to grind, that voice backs off. It starts to shut the fuck up. And that's when you reclaim your power. But the minute you slip, the moment you stop showing up, that voice grows. And it feeds on your hesitation, on your inconsistency, your excuses dressed up as logic. And you have to hear this. You're not alone. You're not weak for having doubt. You're human. But you are responsible for what you do about it. That's the difference. That's what changes your life. That's what makes you different than the person you're standing next to. We all experience doubt. Every single day I have doubt creep in, but I shut that motherfucker down. Comes in for a second, boom, I take action. Doubt's gone. The doubt comes in, people sit with it. They don't take action. Anxiety starts to build. And then they cave. And now they don't trust themselves. So when the doubt comes, take action. Boom, that's it. Doubt, action. Doubt, action. Doubt, action. Okay, so the next time you experience the doubt, don't fucking sit there and hang out in it. Call it and say, oh, this is doubt. I have a choice. Boom, take action. It's that easy. Okay? Now, doing it for the first time, the second time, the third time, the 50th time, the 100th time, it's still hard. Okay, it is. But it gets easier, right? Put in the fucking reps. By the time you get to your 500th time, right? It's much easier. It's instant. It's like, oh, doubt, boom, action. There's like a second delay. So you want to like kind of lower that delay. So a lot of people that are starting out, it'll be like a 2-day delay. It'll be the doubt, or listen, no, it's probably a month, 3 months. You know, people sit there and think about this thing they want to do and they don't do it. They don't take action. They wait to start. I'll do it Monday. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next year. I'm too busy. Everything's going on. So the whole point is that you want to lower that delay through repetition. So when the doubt comes in, I've worked to lower that delay to seconds. You can do it too. It's just going to take the reps. And believe me, it's terrifying. It really is. So I don't want everybody to think it's when I say it's easy because I say those things, and that's not necessarily fair to say. It's easy now because I understand it and I've conditioned the mind to respond to it. But I have said it before. You know, the mind is a chatty little bitch. And if you don't silence it, it will keep whispering. You know, it whispers these fucked up things. It'll like tell you, oh, maybe you don't have it anymore. Maybe that last thing that you did, that was like your peak. well, you can create another peak. That's the whole point, right? You look around, you're at the top of the peak. All right, let's build another one. Where is it? Oh, over there. Let's go find that peak. Let's go climb that. It'll tell you that, oh yeah, you're done. Take it easy. Take a break. And the only thing, like I just talked about with doubt, that shuts that fucking voice down is action. And the action is daily, it's brutal, and it's focused. If you want to kill the doubt, you prove to yourself every single day that you're still a fucking savage. That you're still willing to build, that you're still willing to suffer, and that you're still capable of bleeding for what really matters. That's how doubt dies, under the weight of your work. Not through thinking about it, not through journaling, not through affirmations, through execution. I'm sorry, folks. If you sit there and you manifest and then you do fucking nothing, nothing is going to happen. Okay? That's a fact. You can trust me on that, all right? I've tested every single fucking thing out there. Action. Now don't let me get it confused. You manifest something, right? All right, this is what I want to do. And then your actions bring you there. Okay? It doesn't sit there like in your living room or in your fucking bedroom and you're like, yep, I manifest $1 million. And then you wake up tomorrow morning, it's not there. Okay? If you manifest $1 million and you start taking action towards the things that you know are going to get you there, then maybe that $1 million shows up. Okay? There's too much shit out there about fucking sitting around with your thumb up your ass, manifesting, thinking that shit's going to happen for you. It's not. It's the action. It's the execution. But the problem is most people don't set up that structure for themselves. They don't have a strategy. They don't have that mirror held up every day for them. My mirror every single day tells me, let's fucking go. Show me. If you need that mirror, that's where I come in. That's what my one-on-one coaching was fucking built on. I hold that mirror up for motherfuckers and just say, yo, look, let's go together. Let's do this. I'm not here to pat you on the fucking back for who you used to be. I don't fucking care. I'm here to rip the excuses out of your head and replace them with discipline. I'm here to hold your feet to the fire until doubt burns off and the real you walks out. Remove the doubt, remove the fear, remove the insecurity so that you can be who you were meant to be. My job is not to motivate you. It's to transform you. That's what fucking matters. My job is to help you rebuild the proof in real time that you are still the fucking guy. Still that fucking woman. Or better, become something even stronger than you ever thought you could be. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to fucking save you. But I will train you to crush it. I will train you to destroy that doubt. I will train you to transform yourself daily. We don't live in the past over here. We rise or we die where we stand. You can't keep living in the past. People convince themselves that the strength they once had is permanent. That the fire that got them here will somehow keep burning without fuel. That because they were a savage yesterday, automatically waking up today, they're going to be a savage. It doesn't work like that. Growth doesn't carry over. Discipline has an expiration date. Confidence evaporates when it's not backed by daily action. Because the mind fucking knows, like I just said, it keeps score. You wonder why your confidence is evaporating. Well, why don't you look at your fucking daily structure? Why don't you try to figure out what you used to do when you were confident if you're still doing those things? Because again, your mind knows, Okay, confidence will fade. If I just stopped doing everything that I'm doing now, I would be a different person. If I stopped everything and I got on this fucking podcast, you would be able to look at me on the video and say, that guy's different. He's different than he used to be. Yeah, because he stopped doing the fucking shit that makes him the guy that he is today. I will never stop. I keep adding more things. I keep building. I keep growing. I keep trying to tell myself the hard truth every single day. You don't get to keep the identity of a warrior without new wars. It's that simple. Without pressure, you soften. Without adversity, you rot. Without struggle, you become fragile. The reason people cling to who they were is because it's easier than becoming who they need to be now. Clinging to that past, that old self, it's comfortable. It's familiar, and it is certainly safe. But comfort is a fucking liar, and it's quietly killing the person that they think they still are. The guy you were yesterday or the woman you were yesterday was forged by the fight you were in. If there's no new fight, that version dies. So you have to stop holding on to the old wins like they save you. If you're not stepping into a new challenge, you're stepping into irrelevance. When there's no new battles, there's no new blood. And without blood, the beast inside of you will go cold. I can feel it when the beast in me is alive and well. Because I'm fucking feeding it. Right? And I don't stop feeding it when I'm tired. I don't stop feeding it when things aren't going well. I just keep fucking feeding it. Boom, 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 boom. Relentlessly. Without considering anything outside of knowing what the process is to get where I need to be. I know what I got to do. Okay, the process doesn't need to get reinvented every single day. Everybody spends about 10 minutes on one process. It doesn't fucking work for them. And then they try to find a new process, a new process, a new process. Stick with one. Execute relentlessly. Feed the fucking beast. Every time you rest on your accomplishments, you are giving away your edge. You dull the blade. You lose your hunger. You stop chasing. You stop building. And worst of all, you stop evolving. And that's when mediocrity kind of slides in. And then it kind of makes a beautiful little fucking home for itself. And then you look 3 years down the road, you're fat, you're fucking miserable, you're sad, you have anxiety, you're depressed. The list goes on. I lived that fucking list. That's why I can sit here and talk about this fucking shit, okay? I was the fucking worst at one point in time. I was living the most comfortable life. I looked like shit. I felt like shit. I had shit around me. I was unwilling to push myself. I'd rather sit on the couch than go for a run. I'd rather drink beer than go lift weights. I try to pretend to be a fucking tough guy instead of go actually prove that I am one by getting my fucking ass kicked in jiu-jitsu at the beginning and end of my fucking weeks, right? So many people out there walking around like, I'm a big fucking tough guy. No, you're not, man. It's okay. Go become one. Go roll jiu-jitsu. Go fight MMA. Then you can be a real tough guy. These insecurities that people have are so visible to everybody else but themselves. You know? I guess the biggest thing for me is I always thought I was owed something in the present because of what I had done in the past. But like, it doesn't work like that. The world's brutal, man. It doesn't remember your highlights. Nobody cares, that I was a great hockey player at one point in time, okay? Like that ship sailed. That identity had to go. We'll talk about that more because there's a lot there that when you hold on to these old identities in the present moment, it does nothing but fuck you. You need to realize that the only thing that matters is what you do when your back's against the wall. Now. And it doesn't even matter what you did yesterday. If you bitched out yesterday, fine. Forget about it. Move on. I tell everybody, every single day you open your eyes, you can be a new person. You can do whatever you want. But you have to take those actions. So nobody cares about your past, your accomplishments, or your lack thereof. Okay, they care about what you're doing now. So if right now you're focused on growth, you're focused on development, and then you continue to do that, well, that's the new you. So build that. I think what happens to all of us is that we think, again, that people remember the highlights. Our attention spans are such trash. How do you think anybody's going to remember that? Athletes fall into that trap all the time. Oh, they'll remember that I was good. They'll remember I could score. They remember my fights. They remember, kind of like that I was a really intense. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're not that today, it doesn't matter. Executives, same thing. They fall into that trap as well. I have fallen into that trap too. You do something hard, something big, something rare, and for a moment, you feel invincible. You think you've made it, so you loosen the grip a little bit. You back off the gas a little bit. You start coasting. Time passes, you get softer. That fire dims. And suddenly you're looking in the mirror at a version of yourself who you don't even recognize anymore. That's the consequence of living in the past. If you want to be great, not just once, but relentlessly, you have to live like nobody else. Every day, you have to move like you have everything to fucking prove. You have to attack life like your name's not even on the fucking scoreboard yet. So what does your routine look like today? Seriously. Write it down. There's room to add things. There's room to do better. There's room to say no to certain shit. And are you showing up with desperation every day with obsession? You have to seek that clarity. Because that's what separates the killers from the has-beens. One keeps building, the other keeps bragging. One lives in the dirt, the discipline, the now. The other lives in the rear view. Praying their old identity still means something. Hoping, which is not a fucking strategy. No one is coming to hand you a trophy for yesterday. No one is clapping for what you did last year. And if you're still talking about who you used to be, it's because you haven't done a damn thing lately that's worth remembering. That's the truth. That's what people are running from. So back when I was playing hockey, coach used to come in the locker room, to give us a fucking pep talk. Most of the time when we weren't playing the best, or, we were within grasp of, coming back from being down, and we'd all be kind of, long faces in the locker room, and he'd always come in. He'd fucking kick the door open. I used to love this fucking shit. He kicked the fucking door open. He'd come in. It's desperation time, boys. Like fucking desperation time. Who the fuck are you? Like, who you gonna prove you are, And I remember that like it was yesterday. Fucking desperation time, boys. And that still means something to me today. because I know how it made me feel then. My fucking goosebumps would hit my skin, and I could feel my heart rate picking up, and I could feel this like rush of energy and belief, like, fucking right, guys. Let's go out there and play like every single second is the last second that we will ever be on the ice. Because the shit does end, and when you channel that desperation, that every second counts, every finished hit, every pass, every single part of it. If you live that in desperation, you become different. It's wild. It's like a whole nother gear. It's like you're at 100%, and then when you add that desperation in, 150%. You have to approach every single day like it's desperation time. 60 seconds left on the clock. You're down by 1 and the puck is on your fucking stick. You see the lane. You start feeling that moment. Everything is on the line. And there's no more talk allowed about like what you did in the first period, right? No one cares if you had a good game last week. This is it, right here, right now, desperation. And how you move, how you execute under pressure defines everything. When you live with that level of intensity, you don't waste days. You don't float through the week hoping things will kind of work out. You wake up with urgency. You fight like every single shot is your last. I know that's how winners live. Not in the past. Not in comfort. In desperation time. Every fucking day. Because the second you stop treating life like it's all on the line, you start playing soft. And in this world, soft will get fucking crushed. Desperation time. I need you to take that with you. I need you to remember that. Just give into it. Don't fight it. Desperation time works, man. I'm telling you. It kills distraction. There's no time to scroll, to stall. There's no time to complain. When it's desperation time, the mission becomes pure and simple. Execute or fucking die trying. It's that simple. If you took everything in your life and you said, I am going to execute or I'm going to fucking die trying, your life would look completely different. I am 100% sure. Because when I wanted to take my life, right? I knew the only way out of that was desperation time. I had to live desperation time or I wasn't going to be here any longer. I just haven't stopped living like that. I didn't get better and stop. I just kept going. And I don't even recognize the guy I am today. Desperation time. It sharpens focus. You stop overthinking. You stop hesitating. You read the ice. You see the line. You take the fucking shot. Desperation time, baby. It forces you to act. When comfort tells you maybe later, desperation says now or never. That fucking simple. That's the difference between average and elite. Desperation time. It connects you to who you really are. Why do you think I was getting the fucking goosebumps? When the clock is on, and the pressure is suffocating you, the real you shows up, right? So when you're sitting there, the clock's counting down, 10, 15 seconds left, right? The pressure, everybody looking at you, pucks on your fucking stick, that's when the real you shows up. No filters, no fluff. instinct, grit, intent. You have to purposely put yourself in that position. Because me, when that fucking clock is ticking down, everybody's looking at me to perform. I perform at my best. I wish every single fucking day that somebody could stack that on me. It's fucking crazy, man. I'm telling you right now. When I got on that fucking stage, 6,000 people fucking looking at me, dead silence. You could hear a pin drop in that fucking place. And I just fucking performed at the best I've ever performed in my life. Because I know I can trust number one. I built this fucking guy. You can do it too. I'm not fucking special, man. God. Desperation time, man. That's what's the difference. That's me. That's what I'm living. That's what you can live too. To live that way, you have to set the internal clock. Every morning, you got to ask yourself, if this was my last chance to win this game, how would I show up? If you lived that day like you might not get another fucking opportunity, would you show up differently? I sure as fuck know I would. When you figure out how you need to show up in those moments, then you need to move like that consistently. To live in desperation time, you have to create that artificial urgency. Because no one's going to set that for you. So you have to create it so that your mind goes into that area, right? It goes into that desperation sort of mindset. You have to set deadlines for yourself. You have to set painful consequences. You have to stimulate the pressure before the world brings it to you. Okay, that's really important. If you don't do something that you say you're going to do, you have to enforce a punishment on yourself for that. So I used to do this thing where when I was running on the treadmill, when I look at the clock, I'd then turn up the speed. So every time I looked at the clock, because my mind wants to look at the clock to see if it's almost over yet, right? So the way I ended up training the mind was every time I would look at the clock to see how many minutes left, or if I look at the mileage to see if I'd hit where I needed to be yet, I'd turn up the speed. Yeah, I know it's fucking wild. It's a great idea, but these are the things. So every time I would look at that, where I would try to find comfort, which would be, oh, I'm almost done, or oh, I'm so far away from being done that I can't keep going. I gotta stop. I turn the fucking speed up. I keep turning it up, turn it up. If I had to fucking sprint a mile, I was sprinting a mile. Is what it is. So I had to create those punishments, and guess what? I stopped looking at the clock. I stopped looking at the mileage. And then one thing leads to another. Now I run fucking 10 miles. I don't even know. I just get back and I'm done. I'm like, oh, wow, look at that, 10 miles. If you're out there running, checking the clock, seeing how much time is left, you're fucked. And it's the same thing in life. If you keep looking at the scoreboard, you're going to fucking sit there and you're going to psych yourself out. Put your fucking head down, create that artificial urgency, and then when you don't achieve, you punish yourself for it. If you say you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and you don't wake up at 5 a.m., well, guess what? The next day you're waking up at 4:45. You got to punish that motherfucker that's inside of you that's making you show up weak. Try it. It works. The reason you don't try it is because you're a fucking bitch and you want to be comfortable. You don't want to live the life that I'm living. That's on you, man. But I'm telling you right now, if you say you're going to wake up at 5 o'clock and you don't, then the next day you're waking up at 4:45. And if you don't fucking do that, then the next day you're waking up at 4:30. Okay? You got to teach that motherfucker in your head that's weak to shut the fuck up. It's that simple. And that's how you do it. You can try to create your own fucking system, but it's not going to work. If you do that shit and you punish yourself for not doing something you said you were going to do, then life is going to look a lot fucking different if you can execute on that. All right? It's that fucking simple. You have to embrace discomfort as fuel. No one that has ever been great has coasted into it. You sprint into it. You break the fucking door down with your lungs burning, with no excuses, with no fuel left in the fucking tank. So stop waiting for pressure to find you and create it. It's funny because winners don't need to be down by one with 2 minutes left. They play like that in the first period, in desperation time. That's why they dominate. Desperation forces greatness. Desperation isn't weakness. It's pure human power. When your back is against the wall, when you're desperate, when the safety net is gone, when there's no other option but forward, that's when something primal gets unlocked. You stop negotiating with fear. You stop waiting for the right time. You stop needing that motivation. Desperation strips you down to instinct. It strips you down to will, and it strips you down to action. It awakens that savage inside of you, that version of you that doesn't ask for permission, the version that doesn't care what people think, the version that's willing to bleed to get it done. Look at history. Look at war, look at survival, look at rebirth. Every human evolution, internal or external, was born from one thing: desperation. When staying the same became more painful than change. When the fear of dying became smaller than the fire to live fully. Desperation forces humans to do great things because it burns away the comfort and excuses. It leaves no room for half-assed effort. It demands everything. And in that moment, when you're stretched, when you're suffering, when you're uncertain, it's the best place to be because you find out who the fuck you really are. So if you feel desperate right now, good. Because that means you realize the clock is ticking and your moment is here. You're in the forge. Now move. You got to go fucking bleed for it. Earn your resurrection. Ask yourself right now, are you building something today? Or are you just retelling old stories to feel significant? Because you cannot be legendary and lazy. You can't be relevant and resting. And you're damn sure can't become your future if you're still married to that past. Kill the ego. Burn the archives. Go earn it again and again.